Welcome to the Hustle Culture Podcast. My name's Sloan, and let's dive in. Hi guys, happy Monday, and welcome to episode 6 of the Hustle Culture Podcast. I'm really excited to get into this podcast because it's the first one of the new year, and I think it's really important. I don't like New Year's resolutions because I feel like it kind of has the stigma that you're going to fail and you're not going to do them. So I start off more positively and say my intentions for 2021. I'm a big manifester, and I'm kind of like, if I tell myself it's going to happen, somehow I always make it happen. I don't really know how that works, but somehow it always happens. So I have a list of 10 goals that I'd like to achieve this year, 10 intentions I have. One thing I definitely want everyone to keep in mind is we're in the middle of a freaking pandemic. Like, everything's shut down. I'm sure everyone would have done much better if it weren't for everything that 2020 held. So it's important to remember that you have to keep that in mind. I was looking back at last year, and every single thing on every goal that I didn't make, I was like, oh, well, I would have made. So one thing I've definitely really had to learn this year is allow yourself grace and allow yourself time and allow yourself to heal. This has definitely been a crazy year that no one has ever seen before. The world's crazy. I mean, watch the news and you'll totally see it's just a totally different world out there right now. And so you definitely have to allow yourself grace. However, there's always going to be something that could stop you, or you could use it as an excuse. So just keep that in mind. And first, I have my business intentions. I want to have 50 independent contractors. If we're being honest, that's kind of an arbitrary number. However, the more contractors you have, obviously the more income you have and more clients you have. So it kind of goes hand in hand. And obviously I could go ahead and hire 50 more people just like that. However, I obviously need them to be reliable too. So it's not as easy as simply posting a job. It takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to go find the people that I need. I want to make $200,000 in gross revenue, which is very achievable if we don't have another pandemic happen. Very achievable. And thankfully, we've been very blessed during the pandemic to be able to change avenues and how we offer service and find new ways that we can benefit the community and help people and reach out to people. I've definitely seen a huge growth during the pandemic. So I'm very thankful and blessed to be where I am right now. I want to max out my Roth IRA. I've been able to do that, blessed to be able to do that for the past 3 years now. Ever since I've had a Roth, I've been able to max it out, which has been very nice. I definitely recommend setting up a Roth IRA. It can be a little daunting at first because you can't touch the money until I think you're in your 50s or 60s. So any money that you put in there, you cannot really take it out until you're a lot older. It's a retirement account. So set up for that purpose. So obviously you want to be careful with how much money you put in there because you don't want to put your whole life savings in there. Not that you could, because there's a max on it, but you want to be careful because you can't touch it. I want to have $50,000 net income, which is also very doable. Last year we kind of went through an interesting time, especially with COVID. I had an assistant, so a lot of our profit margins was going towards paying her. I was kind of using also the business card willy-nilly, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a business expense, whatever. So that is definitely doable. So recently, in addition to me wanting to be more of a part of the company and not really take a back seat and have other people do all the work, I have started to do it all myself, and I'm saving the money and not having to work as much that I was paying my assistant. So it kind of works hand in hand that I'm definitely more of a part of the company now. I want to double my full-time client base, which also very doable, not impossible. One thing I very much enjoy is doing interviews with other people. I've done 3 interviews. One was a video interview with a local lady who has a YouTube channel. I'll link that in the description down below. It was awesome. First ever interview, so I was very nervous. However, I think it went okay. The other 2 interviews I've done have been podcast interviews with one of my very best friends, Brittany. She's absolutely amazing, and I was so nervous to be on her podcast for the first time. However, I think it went pretty good. One time it was actually by accident. It wasn't intended that I was supposed to be on her podcast that week. We happened to be in Colorado together. Well, not by accident. We didn't happen to be in Colorado. We intentionally went to Colorado together, and she was supposed to do her podcast that week, and stuff fell through, and I was the only one there who could do the podcast with her. So I hopped on. I want to do 2 photo shoots. Now, I've done plenty of photo shoots. However, they've all been for the business. I'm kind of looking more into like doing personal photo shoots for like local brands. I really like modeling and acting and that whole genre of things. And I know some local photographers, so I'm hoping to get all that set up. I want to have 500 clients in our database. I want to say right now we're at 250. We have 1,000 something likes on Facebook. So I think 500 clients in our database is very doable. One thing that I really like that I have set up is I typically get 8 hours of sleep every night. So I definitely want to continue to do that. I thrive off of sleep. I'm definitely a person who needs a lot of sleep. I don't really get along in life and with people too well when I'm running on no sleep. So since I know that I thrive on sleep and I need sleep to function, I have to plan ahead to allow my day to kind of end at about 5, 6 o'clock so that I can go to bed at a decent time. When I was younger, I used to stay up super late. Well, not younger. When I was like 18, so like 3 years ago, I used to stay up super late working and everything and be exhausted the next day and not be productive at all. And it was just a really unhealthy cycle. And I'm kind of glad I stopped that. I like my sleep schedule and kind of what I got going on here. I want to walk or run 4 miles a day. Obviously, that's kind of an arbitrary number. There's nothing about the 4 miles that is going to make or break anything. However, I think that's a good goal to have because I want to say it's about 10,000 steps, which is about the recommended amount for an adult per day, which I'm on my feet a lot, honestly. But once I sit down, I'm kind of down for the count. However, I'm starting to try and get back into running. I went running yesterday for the first time in a very long time. I'm very sore right now. And about halfway through the run, I ended up actually getting a blister on my foot. Kind of karma for me because I wasn't wearing the right socks and everything. But got a blister and had to cut the run short. I went with my dog, and she's actually a very good runner. For the past, I want to say 5 years, I've been a very conscious eater with what I put into my body and everything, and I've really gotten more into that. I've accepted that I just don't do well on processed foods. I'm a vegan, and I try and be gluten-free as much as possible. I've been dealing with skin issues a lot lately, so I'm trying to cut out gluten, see if that's the issue, cut out soy, see if that's the issue. So a lot of elimination is going on right now. Doing the best we can. However, I'm trying to eat a lot more clean, definitely drink a lot of water. Already drink a lot of water as is, but I realize I've accepted my body just needs to function on fruits and vegetables and unprocessed foods to live. And my mother recommended that I put on one thing on my list to do that I absolutely hate. And I don't hate it. I'm just not very good at it. I'm not really a person who does meditation very often or yoga. I have a hard time just relaxing and being one with nature and one with my soul. And I'm very intuitive, and I can tell you exactly what I'm feeling at all times. I understand my emotions very well. However, just calming down and relaxing and not moving is very hard for me. So I've been trying to do it. I made it through 9 minutes of yoga the other day. I want to do yoga twice a week. I made it through 9 minutes the other day before I got bored. I think the issue was it was like 7 a.m. and I was still waking up. It's very hard because I have to find time to fit it in. It's not like I'm just sitting home all the time and can randomly do yoga in the middle of the day. No, I have to plan to do it, which can also be very hard. So one thing I hate is meditation and yoga. And I don't hate it because I hate it. I hate it because I'm just not good at it, which is something I'm working on, stuff I'm not good at, learning to do. And one thing that I'm very excited for that I actually just signed up for yesterday was I'm doing dance. I used to love to dance when I was younger. I watched Dance Moms all the time, thought I was like the best dancer in the whole world, really was not, did a bunch of dance classes, realized it was just not my thing. And then my friend approached me, my friend client Brittany that I talked about earlier, asked me if she wanted me to do a tap class with her. So we're doing tap on every Tuesday, which I'm very excited for because I've never done tap. I've done every other style of dance but tap, and I'm kind of excited, kind of nervous because I've heard it's like one of the hardest styles of dance to do. It's just so complex with all the feet work. So I have to go find tap shoes, and apparently everywhere is sold out of tap shoes because everyone wants to do dance for the start of the year. And so I'm hoping to find some on Mercari or Poshmark that's secondhand because I can't find them anywhere. All the dance stores around me and Amazon and all the dance websites are sold out of tap shoes everywhere. And the tap class is in less than a week, so wish me luck. So this is Sloan from editing currently, and I just found out I have to take 4 classes in order to have health insurance. So I'm finally in the business program, and I'm blessed to be able to have health insurance. However, I was kind of excited to only take 1 class. So now I have calculus, financial management, management and leadership practices, and marketing management. Wish me luck. Thankfully, I think 2 of them are 8-week classes, so it is what it is. And one of them is a 12-week class, which I'll make it through, but not going to be too happy, but I'm getting my business bachelor's degree. So it is what it is. And I feel like it's very privileged to be able to take school in order to have health insurance. However, not too pumped about it. And I also want to let you guys know that next week's episode is actually going to be our first guest. I'm really, really excited. She's like the best in the whole wide world. And I'm very excited because I texted her and asked her, I was like, hey, how much do I have to pay you to be on my podcast? And she said nothing. So thankfully, because we have no marketing or anything budget. Thank you so much for listening to the Hustle Culture Podcast. If you enjoyed listening, please hop onto Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. If you did not enjoy for whatever reason, let us know what you'd like to see differently. If you'd like to help us grow, follow us on Instagram at Hustle Culture Podcast or on my personal Instagram at SLOANEKORDISH. I'm so excited to grow with you. See you next Monday. Bye.